Okay, I got my mic on. Everything's kind of slow to load, so let me see. Okay, cool. My daughter was just sitting there just to make sure that you guys could hear me this time because last time it was my mic. I don't know how many times y'all I have restarted this just to get it to go live. There's definitely a lot of energy and interference with the moon. Um, this is an intense moon. It is an eclipse. How's everybody feeling? Welcome in, Metatron Mystic. I'm Brandy. All right, so I did do a partial live earlier, and then my daughter told me my mic was cutting out, and it's never done that before. So, um, the thing that I was, okay, awesome, sweetheart, thank you. The thing I was talking about earlier, my daughter and I were watching the movie Moana 2, and out of that whole movie, the the part that stood out to me was at well, if you haven't seen it yet, I don't want to ruin it. But anyways, the thing that I heard was the channels are open. So all the channels are open. So that's why a lot of people are posting. This is a great manifesting moon. It's in Virgo, but by channels, I feel like it means a lot of portal energy, a lot of energy to create, to manifest what it is that you want in your reality, to let go, because, this is an eclipse. Eclipses are about releasing. So this is a good time to reinvent yourself, to let go of the old you, the old version of you. That's, I feel, this past couple months, maybe even the past year for a lot of the collective, has been releasing these pieces of us that weren't us, belief systems, traumas, patterns, all those things weren't true to our soul. Those were things we were taught, things that we witnessed growing up, things that we were programmed into us through family members, and some of it ancestral, some of it school systems, friends, family. Didn't matter where we learned it, but a lot of those things have been being purged throughout this last year. And as we've gotten closer and closer to the planetary alignment, and then we have this eclipse energy right now. This is a great time to let stuff go. So, if you guys caught the first live, I've had to do a couple different ones just to try to get it to go. But I got 3 cards out together, and then I used my dragon for the Love of Dragons deck. But the one that was on the bottom for subconscious was the Sanctuary. And if you can see, that is a 37, which is a 10. Tens, that's completion and new beginning. It goes back to 1. We go 1 through 9. Nines are endings, the endings, completions of cycles, and then tens, it goes back to 1, starts back over at the beginning, new creations, new things. But sanctuary, this is subconscious. So we have been within, we have a lot of the collective has gone within, to retrieve pieces of ourselves, that connection with the inner child and the making amends with the inner child. I've had myself, that inner work going on. And a lot of us have been doing this for a while, but we're never given more than we can handle. So it all happens in divine time when your soul is ready to experience certain things and to face certain things. That's when we're able to face those things. We're not given those things or having those epiphanies and realizations until we're ready to receive those energetically. We have to be prepared within. So subconsciously, a lot of us have been very introspective. And then, with this card, she's got the 2 dragons on there. And, this dragon over here on the pillar, that one kind of gives me like a missing shadow, like a missing hidden. I heard hidden part of our shadow that we hadn't seen before. And a lot of us had those epiphanies and those moments here probably within the past couple days as we got closer to this moon. But the 3 cards that came out, and they came out together. And this one was the one that was on top because it flipped and it landed, like this upright. So this was the first card, the Fire Bearer, 19. 9 plus 1 is 10. If you see in this card, he's been through the battle. That fire is wrapped around him. In the bottom, it looks like a battleground, and he's got this flag right here. It's all tattered up, and that back in the background looks like the blood moon, or it can be the sun, because the card that was behind this card was this card, the Playmate 16, number 7. And if you look behind this one is a moon, and it looks like a full moon. But let me put them like this, because this one was first, this one was second. So if you look at these 2, let me see if I can get them close together, but more even. They're very much similar in posture. So to me, this looks like this was us as the collective being forged in the fire. 9 plus 1 is 10. So finishing up the battle. And this one gives me light. Very much into I'm getting new beginning. And 7, that equals 7. 7s are very spiritual numbers. So path, to me, that's path and purpose, the light. But these 2 being side by side, the integration, the merging, going from the Fire Bearer to the Playmate. I keep putting them backwards. Sorry. From the Fire Bearer to the Playmate. But blending the 2. Because the one that was after, let me put these over here. The one that came out that was underneath all of those 2, was this one, the Giver. And this one is green. And it also equals a 9. And that tree, if you look, that gives me, new leaves, springtime energy, all that green. That's heart chakra to me. but it's also earth energy. Spending time in nature. Springtime, that is now. But if you look, that dragon is holding an egg. And she has her arms wide apart. And I feel like it, even though that's an egg, I feel to me that is heart chakra. Like giving this this ancestor, higher self, whatever you resonate with, giving back or reopening of the heart chakra. Because I feel like to me that's like giving to her, giving to the collective. The final piece, or the piece to heal the heart chakra, because that green gives me very much heart chakra. And on the bottom of the deck is the Daydreamer, and it's an 18, and it also equals a 9. A lot of you can be seeing 9s or 1s. But you see her there, and she's daydreaming on top of that dragon. To me, that gives me very much ancestral energy. This is definitely my ancestor deck, because dragons are ancient, they're very wise. But here she's in a very relaxed state, dreaming and creating what it is that she wants in her reality. 3, 4, 5. There's 5 butterflies on here. 5s are about change, transformation. They're also, I believe, Taurus energy, which is Hierophant. So the other 2 decks that I got out, which I was going to start with, but I ended up starting out with the for the Love of Dragons. But the other 2 I got was the Black Moon Astrology and the Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle, because activations, I was very drawn to grab that deck and the Black Moon Astrology deck. Usually I grab my clarifiers, but tonight I didn't feel like I needed to grab those. Song that's playing right now is Say What You Need to Say, or Say by John Mayer. On the bottom of the deck is Libra. I balance 19. 9 plus 1 is 10. We're getting a lot of 9s and 1s tonight. So you guys can be seeing 9s and 1s. 9-1, 9-1-0, 9-1, in any synchronistic way. 1s and 9s. Libra is about the scales. Balance. And this is on the bottom of the Black Moon Astrology deck. So this would be subconscious, so balance within self. And that goes with that Sanctuary card, because that one was also underneath, which is subconscious. What is that? There's a lot of different images in this card. That's what I love about this Black Moon Astrology deck. It's just sometimes you can't see certain images, and I feel like that's because it's meant to be that way. You're only meant to see certain ones during certain times. Libra is very much about balance. I'm going to shuffle. Underneath that is Virgo, I Analyze, which is also a 9, and we are in the Virgo moon. Oh, and look, underneath that is Moon, Soul. And then underneath that is Pluto, Transformation. So, hey, Cody. Glad you made it back on. We made it. We made it. Dude, I don't know how many times I restarted this, like 10. 10s and 9s are the numbers tonight. So you guys may be seeing 9s or 10s. Well, that one tried, but it didn't quite jump. But yeah, I had to restart it like 10 times. 9 or 10 times. I didn't count after a while. But yeah, I had to restart my computer multiple times because I feel like the energy of this moon, since it is an eclipse, the intensity was causing some haywire with my computer and my microphone. And yeah, I told my daughter if it didn't start this time, I was going to just not go live tonight. Maybe the message that I released was all that needed to come out, but I tried and tried. Did the 10 times. Maybe it was that number. Because like I said, most of the cards is out. We've got a 19, which is a 10. A 16, which is a 7. A 36, which is a 9. 19, which is a 10. And 37, which is a 10. And the 2 10s were on the bottom. Oh, and here's a 5. And we had a 5. No, that one was a 9 for Daydreamer. 5th house, creativity. But I did say something about, about the butterflies. Which one had the butterflies? The Daydreamer had 5 butterflies, which 5s are about change. And then now we've got 5th house, creativity, which equals an 11. So this is the one that came out. What does that say? Fun house? Looks like a carnival. And that one up there gives me like drama, like movies and theater. That gives me like theater. So creativity. So embracing our artistic side. 11, some of you can be seeing 11s. Like I said, the numbers tonight is 9s and 1s. So now is a time to be creative. And I feel like the collective is already in this energy, maybe for a couple days now, embracing the new parts of us. Because now is the time. Now is the time to manifest with this, eclipse that we're going through. Like I said, the channels are open. So portal energy, lots of manifestation energy to create what it is that we want to create. So now is the best time to be creative in a positive aspect. Go after the things that you want to create in your world. And this has to do with everything, as within, so without. So whatever we say to ourselves within ourselves, what belief systems are we creating? What mindsets are we affirming at this time? Our beliefs about money, our beliefs about ourselves, our beliefs about just everything, the stories that we tell, all of those things are things that, in order for us to actually manifest the things and create the world that we want to be in, a lot of us have to rewrite those, because the ones that were written for us when we arrived here were not our stories. They were somebody else's. Most of them were stories from our ancestors, and they go back many, many, many generations. So the last deck I'm going to grab is the Sacred Journey Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle. This was the first one I was drawn to. Crazily enough, this is the last deck I'm using tonight. I didn't grab any clarifying decks tonight because I feel like these are the ones that we needed for this evening. What's going on, Cody? Yeah, that's where we remember other people will try to impose their own belief systems onto you. And that's something that has happened to us when we were in the womb, pretty much. When we were in the womb with our mother until about age 5. You know, our mother's beliefs and traumas and emotions, all of those things are instilled in us. And then we, as mothers, instill those into our own children. Whatever we experience, whatever feelings we felt, whatever belief systems we had, all of those things, that's how it creates the ancestral thing, because it goes from ancestry, it just follows down the line. I would look deeper into that, Cody. Right now is a good time to do some introspective work. I was talking about the sanctuary. That was at the bottom of the deck. And that is very much us being within during this time, us being introspective, us looking at our inner child work, and finding some hidden shadows, some things that most of us probably didn't realize that we had tucked away so deep within us that we hadn't quite faced. And those are the things that are coming up, for some of the collective, because every time we have an eclipse, that is the best time to eclipse these things out of our lives. That's why we have more than one throughout a year. We have these moments where we have a chance to move these things out of our reality. But then you have to do the inner work first. And we're not given these things until we're ready to see them. And when we are ready to see them, then they will be basically put in front of our faces to where we can't quite avoid it anymore. Well, yeah. I mean, we have to. The thing, and I will tell you from my own personal experience, when I first started on my path in 2018, I was still very much asleep to a lot of things, and I was in victim consciousness. I believed everything happened to me and not for me. And so I was stuck in those patterns and those loops and those belief systems, traumas, all of those things that I had learned when I was a kid, from in utero to age 5. And I don't even remember any of that stuff, really. But it is already within us, it's already basically like imprinted, by the time we're age 5. So as we get older, if we don't have these certain moments where we say, okay, something's, there's got to be more than this, or enough is enough. when we don't have, those moments, we don't have that push to want to see something different. We don't have that push to want to go down that rabbit hole. And the thing that was I'd say the hardest thing for any of us to do is to face ourselves. And ultimately, that's what we have to do when we start on this spiritual path, is we have to understand that we are the common denominator in all of our experiences. I had to see that I was the common denominator. And then I had to start looking at myself and say, okay, why did I attract these experiences? And then I had to start doing that work within myself and see, where did I get this belief system? Where did I get this program from? Why do I draw these types of relationships in? Why do I feel this way about certain things? These are all things I had to do in order to find the root issue, because that's the only way that you can really face it, is if you find the root. I mean, you can find these little breadcrumbs that kind of lead you to it, but you have to kind of go just straight to the root. Why do I feel this way? And then once we start seeing those things, then we have to start placing boundaries. Because if we don't place boundaries, then we just allow others to walk on us. And a lot of the times when that happens is because we don't feel worthy. We don't have the self-worth issue. We don't have the self-worth or the self-value. We don't have the, it's that you feel like you can't say no. You feel like you got to walk on eggshells, that kind of stuff. Those are all things that we learned, because these are learned patterns, learned behaviors from what we saw or heard growing up, even when we was in our mom's belly, Yes. Well, and like I said, a lot of times we have to get that push for us to say, okay, enough's enough. Now it's time for me to place some boundaries and time for me to go within, And, that's usually when we get that push that we need. And sometimes we need that. But I'm going to go ahead and I shuffled this deck earlier on the last live before I restarted everything. So the bottom of the deck on this one is belief, and it is an 11. The frequency of belief supports our sense of self-worth based on our gifts and talents and a strong connection to source. I love this card. I mean, look at that. It's beautiful. And that's crown and third eye chakra. The purple, and then that blue purple right there, that's third eye, and this purple is crown chakra. But this was on the bottom, that's subconscious. A lot of you, a lot of the collective may be doing more meditations, visually seeing more things purple in your reality, wanting to wear more purple, maybe eat things that are purple. I've seen a whole bunch of purple flowers, little bitty purple flowers. It's so beautiful. But this card is about beliefs, the frequency of it. When it is so strong, because the beliefs that are true to our soul are the strongest when we are in our power. When we still have a lot of different things that we're working through that aren't our belief systems, our frequency is it's muddled, I guess you would say. Our frequency isn't flowing properly because we have other belief systems mixed in with what is true to our soul. So it like causes a cross current. So it's not getting a good, a good connection, right? So now that a lot of the collective has actually weeded out those belief systems, programs, done the inner child work, um, writing new stories, using their creativity to create the life that they want to live, their best life. So with this frequency of belief, since it is so much stronger now because we've weeded those things out, and now we are the flow, the frequency is actually working in harmony, right? Um, and those things, with our self-worth and stuff like that, our gifts and our talents they're coming up more. They're becoming more prevalent. Is what I just heard. Prevalent? Is that a word? Prevalent? I think so. I keep hearing prevalent and relevant. I don't know why. Why those two? There's another word for that, but it's just not. I guess I can just say they're becoming more known. Like new things are coming online, like new talents. These are things that we may have knew that we had as children, but very small. So not able to um, even utilize those skills because by age 5, we had already forgotten who we were because we were reprogrammed. So a lot of that stuff is coming back online. Like I said at the beginning of the video and the other live, the channels are open. Let's see, underneath that one is soul time. What does that one say? Soul time asks us to allow the possibility of a new reality to emerge. One that embraces the concept that while the corporal body is mortal, the soul is timeless, limitless, and infinite. Because we're all stars. We're all created from the stars. We are infinite. Yep, enough is enough. Yep. And sometimes we got to get to that point, Cody. We have to have that push. All right. And we got the miracle card. We had that one in another live. So the card that flew out was a 34, passion. There's another 7. The frequency of passion reminds us that beneath every intense emotion lies the hidden gem of insight, balance, and calm. It assists us in finding the balance within this intensity, moving us from chaos to the calm of its core, where we can let its long-lasting wisdom fill us up. So this card is speaking about the lessons that we have learned. Every relationship in our life is there to teach us something about ourself, something about our soul, something that is true to us. And most of the time we don't see it. Like in our everyday life, when we don't know anything about anything really, I mean, we're just living the 3D life. We're lost. We're confused. We don't know who we are. This reminds me of Once Upon a Time. I love that TV show. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Once Upon a Time is about these characters, and they're all characters and all the stories all of us were told, growing up in books and in movies and, from Pinocchio to Snow White to Cinderella to all of those. But they get sent to a world or a land without magic, right? Follow me here. When they get to this land without magic, they forget who they are. And then they work in everyday positions, teachers, doctors, Meanwhile, in the other world, they were Snow White, Prince Charming, Cinderella. They all were very powerful beings, some of them magical. But when they went somewhere else, they forgot who they were, And that's how we were. We forgot who we were. And now, a lot of us have been working through the old beliefs, the old programs, and reprogramming that, saying, wait, this belief system here, nah, this one's not mine. This is something that, I was taught growing up, something that I learned at school. It's not me. It doesn't resonate with my soul. And as we've gone through this, we've weeded out. We are never fully healed, guys. We are constantly working daily to work through these things. And we want to create and live our best lives. So all we have to do is basically change our minds and say, you know what? I want what's best for me. The thing I said the other day was, when you focus on, I wrote it in my journal, when you turn your attention towards yourself and you give all that focus that you give to others to yourself, you can move mountains. You can make lots of changes in your life. It's just we tend to spread our energy too thin, especially when we're first starting on this journey and we're, walking down this path. We were overgivers, oversharers. We did a lot of things to try to prove our self-worth to other people. And in turn, that caused us to be, our cups were very empty. Can't pour from an empty cup. Yeah. So as long as we know what it is that we want, and we have that unwavering belief within ourselves, because we have that belief card out here. We have that belief within ourselves. We know how powerful we are. We co-create with spirit. We are the creators of our realities. That's how powerful we are. That's freaking powerful. You know what I'm saying? So with this passion card, it's just a reminder that all the things that we have been through up to this point, all the things we've experienced, they are lessons. If you can look at them as lessons and blessings, because they are there to teach you about you, and they are there to assist you on your path. No matter how difficult the lesson has been, there'll be a moment in time when you can look back and say, I am thankful for that experience because it taught me about a part of me that I didn't see. That's what it did for me. Yeah, I did watched a video today. I'm doing this conscious business accelerator with Aaron Dowdy and Victor Odo. And today's assignment was making peace with your past. And that's what I talked about, was that making peace with my past, letting go of who I was and embracing the person that I am. All of the experiences I've had have taught me a lot, and I'm wiser because of that, right? Because we learn. As we learn those things, we take those with us. We take those lessons with us. So, if we see things with that insight, because that's what this card talks about. Beneath every intense emotion lies the hidden gem of insight, balance, and calm. We've already got the Libra balance card out here. It assists us in finding the balance within the intensity. A lot of us have been tested. That's why I had that card. This card was the first card. This is us. This was us. Battered, bruised, been through the battle. Forged in the fire. Because that's the only way you can get here. You are going to be tested. And all of us collectively have been tested. We've been through it. But then there's us after the battle, when we've balanced the light and the dark. We've merged all the elements, earth, air, fire, and water, masculine, feminine, and then the giver, healing the heart chakra. And this is now, like I said, this tree with those little leaves just starting to bud and grow. That's spring. We're in spring. Heart chakra. Yeah, it's green. That's what that card gives me very much. Like that dragon is, that ancestor is giving us that peace, that peace to open our heart chakra and say, okay, it's time. It's time to open up. It's time to allow the passions. Allow your passion to show. Go after what you're passionate about. On the bottom of the deck is 33 miracle. We are all miracles, guys. Every single one of us. And we're all here for a reason and a purpose. The frequency of miracles supports our belief in ourselves as a part of Source, and therefore our belief that anything is possible. And that's a 33. That's a master number. I think 33 is, let's see, 22 is master builder, 33 is master teacher, I think. Don't quote me on that. I can't remember what 44 is, though, because we had 44 the other day on one of the lives. If somebody knows, you guys can type it in, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, and I kind of feel like spring has been showing up a little sooner than that because I've already been seeing the little honeybees. I've seen all the little tiny flowers, I mean, and we've had really warm temperatures here. Went from cold to really nice. It's wild. Everything seems to be moving so fast. Oh my goodness. Oh, sorry. Yep. I'm starting to yawn, so. But yeah, I mean, that's what I have for the collective message. If anybody's coming on and you guys missed it, feel free, to rewind, or you guys, whenever I get off the live, I always leave my lives on there. I usually go back and retitle them based on, what came out in the video. And that way you guys can get the overall, collective message. But we got this, guys. just lots of changes. Just embrace who you are. And if you're still finding yourself, that's okay too, because we all start somewhere, you know. Everybody was the beginner, you know, when they started. We all have to start somewhere. You start from the beginning. Baby steps. And we're all on different parts of the journey and different parts of the path. That's why we're all here to, you know, guide each other and help each other along the way. You know, because I have ones that, you know, I go to that are further on their journey for their wisdom. You know, I primarily listen and go within for wisdom and knowledge. But sometimes we hear it outside of self as well, because our ancestors will also use other people to reach us. Whether it's other people, places, things, music, television, numbers. I mean, there's so many different ways that our higher self ancestors guides can reach us and talk to us. And sometimes they use other people. New beginnings. Yep. Yeah, I think I was looking on my when is it? It's next week, I believe, when we switch over from Pisces to Aries. And I mean, I feel like between now and when we switch over into Aries season, between now and then, everything's just gonna fall into piece, like into place, like a puzzle. It's just, and as we hit Aries, it's like lift off. I just heard lift off. Let's see. I pulled up the moon calendar because I was looking at it a few minutes before I went live. Because I was looking when we switch seasons. We switch over to Aries season next week on the 20th. Last day of Pisces season is the 19th. Wonder what the moon's going to be in that day. On the 20th. Let me see. The moon will be in Sag. Oh, and look. Okay. The last 3 days of Pisces season. And guess what the moon is in? Scorpio. Scorpio is about transformation. So it's going to be interesting. So endings, you know, there's going to be some things that's going to be changing. So, you know, all of us are, we've been being prepared for, you know, endings and stuff. I mean, we're in a 9-year. 9s are, you know, completion. And then 1s are creating new. So, guys ready to make some new stuff? You guys ready to embrace passion? Embrace your creativity? What kind of cool story are you going to come up with? Like what just lights your soul up? Like just makes you so happy? You know, I feel like that's what a lot of the collective are doing right now. We're being so creative. We're like, what do I want to create? Yeah. Get creative with it. You know, use that spark within you. That passion, that drive. And I feel like with this, when I was talking about that heart chakra piece, you know, that's when our manifestations are the strongest, is when we have that emotion tied to it, that heart. We have that tied to whatever we create. It is so strong. And we know this because you can look back, anything in your life that back then we all felt meant something really big to us was because we had attached emotion with our heart chakra to that person, place, or thing. And it made it that much stronger. Mm-hmm. That's I don't know why the three little pigs come into my head. It just reminded me of, like, when you attach an emotion to something, it's like brick. When it's something in your life and there's no real emotion tied to something, then it's straw. It's easily blown away. It's not a firm anything. It's not a firm manifestation. So when you attach a strong emotion, a strong feeling, a passion, something that lights you up, that you love so much that you can feel it within your heart, those are the strong manifestations. Those are the ones that are built on firm foundations, especially when you're manifesting from a pure soul. You're manifesting from a whole soul, because throughout most of our lives, we had to find those pieces. We had to bring back our energy. We had to get rid of those old belief systems that didn't serve us. Our soul has always been whole within us, but we didn't feel like it was because we believed different. We've never been broken. We just believed we were. Because either we were taught we were, or we witnessed somebody else acting that way. So we thought, oh, okay, I have to act that way because that's how I'm supposed to act. We're kids. We don't know any better. And then we just carry that into adulthood. Crazy, huh? Mm-hmm. Everything. The thing I had to tell myself when I first started was, everything is always happening for my highest good. And this was a mantra I would repeat to myself over and over and over again, especially when I first started out. Yeah. Well, like I said, Cody, projections. People project. Other people will mirror our wounds, and we project our stuff, they project theirs. It's a frequency. But the best way to reference that is a mirroring. Yeah. You know within your soul what's true to you and what's not. And you don't have to take that in. That's important. That's when we learn discernment. We learn what is real and what is illusion. So you're recognizing what is real and what is an illusion, which is good. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I'm getting sleepy. But yeah, that is what I have for the collective. After 10 tries. Finally got live, but yeah, everything happens for a reason. So I know there's a lot of energy with this moon, but I hope all of you are doing well, and I hope that you receive whatever clarity it is that you need to hear, with this moon, so that you can move forward. Because we're all growing, we're all moving forward, we're all creating new things in our lives because we want to live our best lives. So we're all starting to make changes and do new things, create new things. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. It's a label. There's a lot of things we have in life that are labels. You can always go down that rabbit hole, Cody. The rabbit hole of labels. Like who gave it that label and why? You know, because they had to label everything. I mean, when I was a kid, I just thought of this. I used to look at certain things and I'm like, why do they call it that? You know, like, well, who named this that? You know, who named grass? Who named this flower, whatever it was? I mean, some of them make sense, you know, like honeysuckle, that one made sense. But I mean, some of them, it's like, why did they name it that? I mean, where'd they come up with the idea and why? You know, and it's the same thing with when it comes to stuff like that. It's a label. But do you have to accept that label? No, you don't have to. And you don't have to believe anything that doesn't feel true to your soul, right? So, yeah, right now it's time for boundaries, you know, our being in our sanctuary, introspective, you know. This energy has been pretty wild for a lot of the collective. And creativity, doing things that you love to do, art, music, whatever it is. Whatever it is, everybody has their own passions. It can be sports, it can be, you know, whatever it is, whatever brings you joy. Those are the things that we need to focus on right now because that's when we're in our most purest energy is when we are in that frequency of joy, that frequency of love. When we're doing the things that just, you know, puts a big silly smile on your face, that is the purest frequency. So do those things. That's the focus for the collective. Create your story. You're the author. You're the creator of your story. Make it amazing. Right? Make it amazing. Because all of you guys are amazing. Amazing, beautiful, spiritual beings. Infinite beings. Well, I'm going to get off of here. That's the message I have for the collective. I appreciate all of you guys coming on and being patient with me with all of the technical difficulties. Yeah. You guys have a beautiful evening or day, whatever time of day it is, wherever you guys are. Um, yep. That's right, Cody. I appreciate you being on. I appreciate everybody else that's on the live and everybody that comes on after. I appreciate you. I love you. You guys have a beautiful evening. Know that you are loved, you are amazing, and you got this. All right? I will see you guys very soon. Talk to y'all later.